So there was this clip, right, where on TikTok, I'm sorry, it was on Twitter, when somebody was talking about, it was a picture of the, I think he's a UFC fighter or something like that, and they adopted some black children. And the person said, why do we keep letting white people adopt our, keep adopting our black babies and blah, 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 blah. Adam Calhoun clipped into the scene and said, why do y'all keep giving your babies away? And boy, somebody clipped on that, and this black dude clipped on the scene, bust out laughing. He said, oh my God, he was right. He said he just cooked y'all. But that's true.
Right.
But let's play this, man. I want to see Ruin Leon's response on this.
Right.
I waited a week for this, and the only reason I waited a week is because you can't really go and have a reaction based on one thing. You gotta marinate it a little bit. You gotta wait for all the stink to get on all the proper meat so that can be nice and tender, and that's what I got. Cliff Notes time. A UFC fighter decided it'd be a great idea to expand his family, and he adopted a bunch of kids. Black kids. And when asked about it, he said this.
I'm not raising black children. I'm raising children. I'm not raising black men. I'm raising men.
Right.
And whether you are black or you are white, no matter what race that you are, there are certain things about being a man and being a good man when it comes to character and integrity and safeguarding the helpless and sticking up for those who need it. And being a good man of reputation, none of that has to do with skin color.
And of course, when you are someone who is not black doing anything that would be viewed as positive that involves the black youth, a bunch of the for the people individuals get very upset, and it produced a lot of opinions that really should make a lot of sense to people who want to pull up statistics from back when Jim Crow was king, but now it's just about a motherfucker choosing to do or not do.
Why do white people adopt black children? It's a real question for me. Why do white people adopt black children and then say things like, I'm not raising black children, I'm raising children? Oh, are you? So this is UFC fighter Michael Chandler, and this is his wife. They've adopted 2 black children, and he recently did an interview where he stated he's not raising black children. He's raising children. And while I understand that he thinks that he means well by creating this piece of, I don't see color, let me tell you why that's a problem. Even though you claim that you and your wife don't see color, the world does. This is America. And so when those children look at you, this can be problematic because it ignores the racial and cultural identity of the child.
Oh my God.
By not acknowledging the child's racial background, you're going to inadvertently neglect certain aspects of their identity, which
says
is
who?
Black. You're going to neglect their experiences. You're gonna neglect what they may go through when they get out in the real world because they will not be treated like you. So when you say that you're not raising black children, you're only...
This woman is ridiculous.
But
she was ridiculous.
Do you actually sit here and think that they didn't do any kind of research about about the ethnicity of blacks because they have black children?
Yes.
Of course. I mean, I'm not going to say they did a whole deep dive, going back in black history. However, I want to say that they probably did some cultural reading so they can be in tune.
Even if they didn't.
Right, but even if they did not, who cares? And do you think the kids actually care when a kid wants to be adopted? Do you actually think the kid is really concerned with the race of the parents? I would really like to know. Because they want someone who is going to love them because the person that had them gave them away. So come on.
And would she be talking this same talk if she was out somewhere at the store or something like that and the original mother was with these kids and they nasty looking or they not clean? What would you have to say then if the original mother was with them and they were very poorly taken care of? What would you be saying to yourself then? Nothing.
Have you adopted any kids?
only raising children, how are you going to explain to them when they get treated different in the schools that you put them in, when they get treated different out in society, when they get treated
they have
different
more
in the
than a lot of people?
workplace? How are you going to explain that to them? Is race going to come up then? Another reason why I don't understand why white people adopt black children is because a lot of times white people are not around a lot of black people, right? And so you're only going to have these black children around other white people. And I'm just assuming here, I don't know him personally, but I'm just saying for the most part.
Racist.
Whenever we see white celebrities adopt black children, they have them within their group of friends, right? All white people. When they're not just, even though you're raising them, you want to expose them to their own culture. Do you have any black friends?
Do you know this to be true?
Is there any type of cultural significance you can give these children? Any shows, any areas, any schools, anything to show them somebody who looks like them and not just like you. When these children grow up, or what we see most of the time, when these children end up growing up, they feel lost in the world and they don't know where they fit in. Because on one side of the spectrum, you really don't fit in with the black population because you've been raised as white, even though you are black.
That is so
then
ignorant
on the other side of the spectrum, you're around all these white people and they don't 100% accept you because at the end of the day, you're black.
She wanted them kids to be in bad situations.
With all of these complexities,
these are true.
Why would you not acknowledge or raise your children as black children to prepare them the best that you can in the world? This I don't see color mentality does more harm than good. Because while you claim you don't see color, we know you do. And that's not a bad thing. That's not to say that anybody's racist or anything like that. But when people claim that they don't see color, you do. Because you're not blind. Everybody sees color. I'm looking at this picture right here and I see a white wife and a white husband and black children. So everybody sees color.
And I think even too, when he meant by that is that wasn't, in regards to decision, well, of course, it's obvious with his two eyes he can see. However, that didn't impact him wanting to adopt them. And of course, I feel like they're going to when she said about the schools that they're going to be go to, well, many celebrities is multicultural when it comes to celebrities and their children. So at the schools, it's not just going to be one race of celebrities at one particular school. It's going to be a multicultural environment. So they're going to be different races of kids. So what she's saying to me is like so null and void. It's your opinion. You have no facts here.
And she was like, how are they going to grow up? With money, privileged,
opportunities,
ahead of the curve. Because they have wealth. So.
But what makes you think that they don't have other friends of different ethnicities? I mean, I just can't tolerate people who don't.
Joy, there have been several NFL players that were raised black, that were raised by or adopted by a white mother, and they were NFL players and successful. What she's talking about is pure idiot.
But it's opinion, and I just can't. Those people who don't think, who can't think, my patience, help me.
And guess what? When they go out in the world is also going to see color. So I hope all the backlash that you've been getting for that interview that you did will enlighten you and your wife a little bit to open up your mind and give these children the best upbringing. Because we know monetarily you can. We know monetarily you're going to give them the best life that they can have. They're probably going to go to the best schools, best food, best area. That's all fine and dandy. But make sure you don't slip on that mental health. Because by raising them as not black children is going to psychologically mess them up.
I sound jealous.
Why are there so many black children that need to be adopted? My second question is, Why do you care who adopts them and what color they are as long as
Right.
they love that child and raise them right?
Exactly.
And
Oh, that's Adam
lastly,
Calhoun.
I see color. I see color. But when I see a little baby, I don't go, oh, look at that little white baby or look at that little black baby. These are babies. They haven't been filled with ignorance yet. Let them babies be babies and grow up to be good people.
Because of white people and white saviorism. The child welfare industry in the United States is built off of systemic oppression. Our own government recognizes that racism and bias plays a huge role in why there are so many Black and Indigenous children in the system.
You can't sit here and articulate a point that a lot of people would tend to understand with a bunch of your bigoted nature about another skin color. I could understand statistics and how individuals are predominantly in the center of a certain issue, but my response to the here and now is what will propel a bunch of motherfuckers with this skin color to say, let's change that a little bit. And I can even understand the want to have children who are Black understand the world outside of family values of what's being taught to them, because you can teach a child all these things under the sun, but once they go outside and experience life, some things can be a little bit different. So I can walk with you a little bit on that. I just have a unique problem with a bunch of people seemingly upset at a white guy adopting Black children, and their response is to bitch, moan, groan, complain, and do anything else other than, oh, I don't know, adopt those Black children so that you could grow up with them and teach them all the things about how the cops are going to hunt them down as soon as they step one Reebok out the fucking door. But you know what? With stupidity creates the ultimate opportunity. And I am glad that I now realize more and more that my seed of common sense has been inseminated across the world because, of course, people saw this dumbass reaction, and of course, people saw the dumbass reactions to the dumbass reaction, and they decided to provide a little bit of perspective that a lot of you, for the people individuals, seemingly don't want to understand. And yes, it came from Black people.
Because you keep throwing them away. Maybe if Black mothers would stop having random children with random men without being married and having a family to keep that child in, there wouldn't be so many Black children to adopt. Also, while you're on the internet running your mouth, how many children can you adopt?
That's what I said.
Probably zero, because you don't qualify, because you have to have a family. You have to be financially sound. See, this is how the process works. First, they reach out to the immediate family, any blood relatives, and try to get somebody to take that child. That didn't work. Then they try to find a child with a family they can connect with, same race. That didn't work. And they had no choice but to put the child with a white tea family who was willing to take the child. So instead of asking why are white tea people adopting Black people, why don't you ask why are there so many Black children up for adoption? Aren't y'all the most educated? Aren't y'all making the most money that any other group of Black women have ever made? So why aren't you adopting Black babies?
Right.
So the person who stitched this, his response to this original video was, dang, he ate her up. Like, are we not going to say anything? Are we not going to respond? And I have a response, but it's more questions for the original creators. So here they go. Question number 1. Why do we actively attack people who are willing and wanting to take in a child? Any child, doesn't matter what their race is, a child who is in need of a home. I'm not sure if people understand the foster care system and how it works, but if a child does not get adopted and they're in the foster care system, they stay there until they turn 18. And then after 18, they're out on their own. No family, no backup plan, nothing. They're literally out on the streets to fend for themselves. So why? Why would we want a child to stay in foster care because the family is not Black or the same race as them that wants to adopt them? Why is it so bad to have a child live with, be with a part of a family that wants them? Second question is, why is it now that there are so many children in the Black community that need homes? Why isn't the Black community actively helping these families before they end up in foster care? Back in the day, grandma, auntie, and all of them would take these kids in. If they knew mama wasn't doing right, they were going to do everything they needed to do. Foster care actually reaches out to everybody they can. They ask mom, they ask dad, they ask anybody, do you have a kinship care that you would prefer over foster care? Because, hey, now I can't talk about people that are adopting kids from overseas, but that is not my business. I'm talking about here in the U.S. Third thing is, what are you doing? What are you doing to be an active participant in the foster care system to get these children who need Black families and help them out? Be that person that they could have as like that liaison. Be that family that's like, you know what? I think I can be a foster parent. Let me welcome these kids in.
Yeah.
Because quite frankly, there's not enough of us out there that are actively participating in the foster care system and that are welcoming children into our homes.
Yeah.
True.
I have been a licensed foster care parent for about 4 years now. And in our community, I probably have seen one person of color out of all of these people who are willing to take children into their home.
Wow.
And I have only had one Black child come into my house, which is a blessing, which means people in this community are stepping up when need. That's what that means. That when they are needed, they are stepping up and taking these kids into their homes. I don't care what color a child is. When they come into my home, they are my child, and I'm going to take care of them until I send them back. My son is not Black, but I adopted him. Why? Because I had that child in my house for over a year and a half and had him since he was 6 weeks old, and I was the only mother he knew. Wow. And just because he's not Black does not mean that I could not be his mom. Matter of fact, I feel like I birthed that baby.
I
So
know that's
let's
right.
be active participants
Come on
in the
now, sis.
solution and not attack people for
That's
wanting to help
right.
with the problem.
You can have a lot of individuals out
Thank
here in the
ya.
world deciding that a kid is too much
love
of
it.
a financial risk and they don't want to deal with it and they're not responsible enough. And yes, the correct course of action is don't have sex, but let's be honest, we're all horny. So the better response is please get some birth control. Please wear some condoms. Please get a vasectomy. Because if you don't really want kids,
Right.
you should be doing everything necessary to
You're
not have
right.
them and still have sex. Because yes, it's possible. I don't know why you motherfuckers want to have arguments about who should be doing what. You all could fucking do it if you truly don't want kids, but that's besides the point. You can't sit here and get mad at other people for filling in the responsibility of a parent in which the original parents didn't want to fucking fulfill because
Right.
of their ignorance, arrogance, selfishness, or overall their financial responsibility. It's
Right.
embarrassing that motherfuckers want to act as if that's the case. It's embarrassing that motherfuckers want to think piece their way into that being the case. And it's a little bit pissing me off that people will sit there and hear that and say slay queen as if that's somehow going to make the situation better. And if you just so happen to have this skin color and you somehow find your way mad at me for saying motherfuckers should either not fuck with responsibility, or be men and women and take care of the responsibility of fucking, which is children, then guess what? Take your ass to the fucking adoption center, go through the process of trying to adopt as many Black children as you can and raise a family. How about that, instead of whining, moaning, and groaning about the white guy having more balls and being more of an adult than the rest of us? And if you just so happen to still be mad, yet you enjoy my voice and my skin color, subscribe to the channel, because I want to know, is the white guy out of line for trying to raise children in the here and now? Are we all supposed to somehow understand that no matter how much we live this world, it's always going to be the white guy's fault? I know that's the answer. And overall, how many of you motherfuckers are actually going to go to the adoption center? I know I'm not, because I like my semen where I can see it, and I will be dealing with children my own type of way, yelling at them
cannot.
to get off of my property. Good.
Really hot. Ooh. He is hilarious. Okay.
Yo.
I
Come on.
like that. I mean, completely. I agree wholeheartedly with what he said, and those people who were talking about, you know, how they felt about what she was saying. It's like, please, let's get some facts for one. But two, like
He
I
said,
said,
tell them kids get off his property.
a kid is not worrying about what the person looks like,
Yo,
what
I
their skin
can't.
color. They want to be loved. And whoever the adults are that are going to love them and treat them and give them the life that they want to have as a kid growing up to be hopefully a productive citizen in society, then They ain't done that.
You said it all.
And how many, like I said, has she adopted? I can't. I mean, please. Be a solution. Be a solution. Be a solution.
He said, slay queen.
Please. Be a solution.
Yeah, I think you said it all. All right, man.
All right. So what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments section. How do you feel? Do you think that it should even be thought about even slightly when a person is adopting a kid? Should race even be a factor for the adult?
No.
Put it in the comment section. What do you guys think?
It's not about white baby, black baby. It's about baby.
Exactly.
All right. 2024. 2024.
Well, you usually say be more. I say talk less.
2024.
Be more.
Talk less.
That ain't what you say.
Yeah, that's not. 2024. Be more.
Talk less.
We'll see you on the next one.
Yeah.
Bye.